Ghost knows that Tommy killed Proctor, and the beef between Ghost and Tony is not yet over. More to come from this review after we just finished watching Power Season 6 Episode 6. So before we go anywhere, spoilers ahead to all those who haven't watched the episode. Don't watch this video, guys. Go watch the episode, then come back to this so that we might try to connect the dots of what we just noticed on this episode. It was an interesting episode. Actually enjoyed it. It was nice to see Ghost and Tony working together then after a long time ago. Firstly, on the first scene when these guys, after they just received the bad news that Ray had been kidnapped by the drug cartel, I love the fact that they reminded themselves that they're brothers and they were going to work together just to solve some cases. So the interesting part that I enjoyed about today was many things that had to happen, but these guys were not trusting each other to reveal their sources to each other. They were just they had that element of surprising who the sources were going to appear to be. Like for example, Government 30. I feel like this guy is gonna be used by Ghost just for no reason because he has the power or he has something against him or something like that. But it seems like he's giving him. I don't know how it's going to pay out, but it's not looking good at all. I'm worried. But we'll see what happens because he was just being asked for $1 million in that scene, and he couldn't say anything to refuse, but he knew that he needed the money, but he can't say no to Ghost because Ghost controls him like a pawn. He just gave him. So we're here to find out what will happen to our good governor. Lead next to Tony and this connect as they are agreeing each other on how they're gonna move the product, that much product, without anything. So I love the way James said how he like, what can I say, how he was so surprised and wondering how this thing was going to pay out, and finding out that Ghost and Tony were working together. It's actually an interesting thing, which leads me to this scene. I feel like this guy, even though I don't remember him, I don't remember seeing him. Maybe it was in some of the episodes that has happened that I didn't see, but I felt like it was just the sacrifice we are going to have for the episode, and you did see by people just dying. And again, they will never forget the humor, the power people. They never, and we always find it with the Tony and his big goons. I love the fact that they were negotiating, and the good guy, this guy, turned out to be the good guy out of the bed. It was an interesting thing, and I enjoyed it. So we can't wait to see what happens next. Which leads me to the next scene. Personally, or basically, I don't understand the purpose of the cops in Power. What are they really saving? Which purpose are they saving? What is this? And who's this new character we just been introduced to? Is she going to be the one who solved the fact that Proctor was killed, and she's trying to find out the evidence and whatever that is happening? I'm really surprised, and I can't wait to find out what happens next. And I love this scene where these guys had to work together to save for one common goal, but there's too much bad blood in between. I'm talking about Tony's wife, or Keisha, and how they're playing. I can't wait to see what happens next. And why is that Keisha she's always the last person to find out issues or things that are happening? She didn't know that the son had been kidnapped. She also didn't know that Proctor was dead. Why is that she's always the last person to find out? Or maybe it's a way of them showing us that she's now playing a game far away from the rest, even though she has secrets in her sleeves also, because she now is a connector and stuff like that. So we can't wait to find out how it plays out. Which leads me to this scene. This was the scene where Gavin was trying to warn James because there was a campaigning that was supposed to happen, and the money that he had given to James, which had left the bank vaults empty, I think, but it was an interesting thing, and how it played out was also interesting. Which leads me to this woman. This woman literally needs James. She has fallen deeply with James, and I can't wait to find out how it's going to play out, because she cannot even control herself whenever he's close by or whenever there's a situation happening. I can't wait to see how the relationship will go on, because guess what, we're in episode 6, and I feel like we're about to reach the end very soon, and sooner than we all expected. And like I said, I think We're going to find out. Let me just say we're going to find out. And I love this Keisha and the scene when they were playing around, trying to remind each other how you're supposed to do, and it seems like she's still a newbie in the way the game is played, but she's just so rude and she doesn't want to forgive Ghost's ex for no reason. I don't understand what is the beef between, but there is a beef and this seems like it's huge, and we are going to find out how it's going to play out. Maybe it will be solved because it's a family beef, but we don't know. Seems like it's going to last for longer and longer than we expected, which leads me to the next scene where Power did that classic way of showing us how drugs are moved and how it was played. It's been a long time since we saw those situations when the drugs are being moved. Remember the last time when they did such a type of a thing was in episode 1, seeing people selling drugs and seeing them how it moved to the last person, from the producer to the consumer. I think it was an interesting thing, and how they do it. I love those handshakes that they were all doing. And also one surprising scene, it seems like Ray really lives it to see blood flowing. Did you see how he just killed that competition for no reason? Just a knife to the heart. Like, how heartless is this guy? And he's doing this for his daughter. A father who's willing to draw blood just for the daughter. It's just too much. I just feel like it's just too much. I feel like he's one person in character we need to lose by the end of this season, because it's just too much, and I don't trust him. Nobody should trust him. So we come back to the scene where Ghost shows that he's really in too deep now, doing the drug. He's back here in doing this thing, and it's interesting how he does his stuff. Even though today we didn't really see him do anything that much, we just saw him handling the money and trying to keep the money together so that they can do the business. And let me just say, I feel like this episode they were trying to remind us how good these two were together. They might be angry at each other, but these guys were the best drug lords we have ever seen in this episode or in this season. I feel like in all these movies we've seen, this show has been the best in showing you how drugs are done in America, how people does this thing, and how their effects are onto people. It really played, and these guys were the tycoon into these things. James basically was best, and Tony had learned his way up. Even though he acts like he's not really smart, he has learned his way out. Which leads me to this scene. This was an interesting scene where a father had to watch his son beaten, but he was helpless to do anything. And Tony, I love how they play that. They try to remind these guys that you might be king at your own hood, but you are nothing, or you are nobody when it comes to these drug laws and the people you deal with. There are always people who are always going to be higher than you. And I felt it in Ghost's eyes and even in Tony's face. It was really painful to watch, but it was meant to for them to actually see how legit or how real this situation was. And for a mastermind to be the one who's on the floor, it was also an interesting thing. I actually enjoyed that part. I feel like Ray is trying to think that he can outsmart both the parents or even the people she is going to be dealing with. He thinks that 50, or let me say Kane and whatever he left on to him, can be the best thing that is going to help him run the business. But I feel like for his own good, it's just very wrong. It's just very wrong, and you will see what happens next, because it seems like Power is about to go to another level. Can't wait to see this dying end, or when we're in the last phase of this. Is going to be interesting. These 4 episodes that are left, we can't wait to see how it's going to play out, and who's remains standing and whose body is dropping. Which take me to the scene now, the campaign. It was a blast because it shows that they were all determined to make sure that Teddy becomes the angel, even though us secretly we know how much of a devil he is in how he does his stuff, but they try to make him an angel. And I loved it. I loved it the way these guys did their heist. Now, which gave me too many questions. Like, what did Dre just left for no reason, without even giving us any reason what is happening? Does that him leaving the scene has an effect on what is going to happen in the future, or how it is going to play out, and how is this robber going to help Ted in his campaign, because he ended up becoming the main man, or the man who saved a couple of people by killing the last of the thieves or the people who were robbing the people. Let me just say, I can't wait to see what happens, because it seems like there's more and more to come from Power, and it's just getting started, even though we are also midway to almost reaching to the finale, and we can't wait to see how it plays out, because this is why we love Power, guys. This is why I love Power for a reason. So let me know, tell me what you thought of this season. Before I finish, let me go to the last scene where Ghost find out that Tony is actually responsible for Proctor's death. And I didn't know that it was this deep, that Ghost loved Proctor to that extent that he is willing to go to a bloodbath with Tony, because I feel like Tony knows that something's about to happen, something bad is about to happen, and Ghost is coming up for blood, like the Angie thing. But we're about to find out what happens. For no reason, I thought the small stick that Proctor's daughter had on that necklace was going to play a bigger role in this episode, to find out how Proctor's story or case is going to be closed in this soul story. So we are here to find out, even though we know the main reason of this week was to find out how it's going to play out to save Ghost's son. Which leads me to a next thing that I noticed from this episode. I feel like now, for the first time after a long time, Ghost now actually knows what his son has been doing behind his back. He actually knows how he has been trying to play out the game and become the goody son on the other hand, while he's playing evil cop on the other hand. So I can't wait to find out how it all plays out, because if we watch the next look for the episode, there was a threat that he was giving his son, saying that don't try to think that you can outsmart me, because I've been doing this longer than you and I know what you think you can do. So I can't wait to see what happens, and how the relationship between Ghost and Tony, how it's going to continue from there, and how is the people around going to be affected by this fight. So there are too many things that are happening in Power, and there are too many questions that we need answers, and I'm hoping that we get them very soon, because we are coming to the ending now. So tell me what you enjoyed, tell me what was your best moment of this episode. It was an interesting one. I enjoyed it. I loved the working together of James and Tony. I kind of missed that in a long time, and I really enjoyed it. Also the part where Tony and these guys were playing around, or the clowns that he works with to move the weight. I love the chemistry that those guys having when they're outside. It's just priceless. It's just nice to watch. So I can't wait to see how it plays out, because it seems like more and more people are going to drop before to the end, and I'm just hoping not that the good characters goes first, and we wait and see how it plays out. So tell me what you think. I would like to hear your comments, and tell me how you enjoyed this. So please don't forget to leave that put that like button if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more people, because I do this each and every time, and for the Power that we just enjoyed, I had to go extra mile and just say how much I enjoyed it, and give me a star. Tell me what you thought. Just give it a like if you enjoyed it, to see how good was it. Tell me to the level of excitement of to the best of Power, how this episode was, how it feels. Is it good, super good, or low, or super bad? But for me, it was good. I really enjoyed the episode, and I love how it was playing out. That's why I'm kind of excited, and I went even up to more 15 minutes or even higher, because I really enjoyed this. Power has been the best show that I've been watching. So this is Sam, guys, signing up, hoping that you enjoyed it, and please leave a comment for anything you want to understand, so that I can explain more in the next episode. So this is Sam signing up and saying peace. Enjoy, guys.